First order of business is call to order. And then roll call, please.
Peterson. Here. Basil. Here. Bhatia.
Here.
Rizzler.
Here.
Meyer.
Here. Okay, meeting minutes. We have two separate meeting minutes, and they should be approved separately. So you need a motion on the March 18th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the March 18, 2026 Planning Commission meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
I'm abstaining because I was in the hospital.
Okay, was everybody else here? Do
Yep.
we need to have a quorum for an approval or not?
Yeah, we have.
I think the
From that
quorum is,
meeting?
as long as you get 4.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everybody was there. But were you there on that,
Yeah.
On that one, yeah, he was.
and Frank was not, though?
Nope, I
Okay.
was not.
Okay, so then let's go ahead.
And I was not.
I think as long as 4 people vote or abstain, you have a quorum, and then the winning vote is the winning vote.
Okay, again, I don't know how to handle that, but, okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll pass. Okay, for the April 16th, 2026 meeting minutes, I'd appreciate a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, again, I move to approve the April 16, 2026 Planning Commission meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approved. Old business, there is none. New business, scheduling a public hearing for Braun Road and Oaks Road Comprehensive Plan Amendment, CPA 26-0001.
Okay, guys, you just plowed right over the nice banner. Yeah. All right, going back. All right, hello. So you got all me this time. So Sam is still out on paternity leave with his new baby boy, Peter. Hats off. You'll probably listen to this at some point. So we'll just have a rather uneventful plan commission with Adam. So very first off, scheduling a public hearing for Braun Road and Oaks Road Comp Plan Amendment, CPA 26001. The applicant, Bear Development, applied to amend the village's part of the transportation element of the multi-jurisdictional comp plan for Racine County 2035, wishes to update, reconfigure the roadways to match their future, it is the preliminary plat that got approved, future final plat. The comprehensive plan update will delete connections no longer feasible and incorporate the village's Braun Road reconstruction project with a roundabout at Braun and Oaks Road. So all of this is scheduling a public hearing for that comp plan amendment. There will be probably more presentation materials and stuff like that, but it's more to just to get that out there and schedule a public hearing for it. So after we schedule a public hearing and that happens, then it'll come back to Plan Commission for final approval. And I think the applicant was waiting on this one, but because of our plans about the Braun Road reconstruction and stuff like that, staff just thought it best to go ahead and move this forward so at least we can get it on the agenda. Any questions? Yeah, and all it is basically accepting this layout of Oaks Road and the subsidiary roads. There's deleting a proposed crossing of the Pike River pretty much at the northern boundary of the subdivision, and then the reconfiguration of Braun Road with the roundabout, and as of now, no sidewalk on the north side, and a 10-foot multi-use trail on the south side. It would be staff's recommendation that because there is not a plan to put the sidewalk in, and that's fine, that we basically outline what conditions would need to be present for us to consider it. That's just good planning. So if X and Y happen, then we can think about putting one in. That would be staff's suggestion, and that would be a part of that public hearing on June 29th.
I guess the only question I had was, we were talking about it would be nice to have a roundabout, and now it's showing up a month later. So, I mean, obviously, that's a good thing. What, if anything, does that do to the developer's plans at this point? Is there anything that,
I don't, so because I can't really speak on some of it because the village's plan to reconstruct Braun Road is on the village. So we put forth that design and all that sort of stuff. And then essentially our village board decided that they were gonna go with the roundabout option. And so it was just, that was relayed to the Bear development and this plat. It was relayed pretty early after this plat was approved that they should prepare for that eventuality.
right? Okay, so what year are we talking about? Do we have has the village got a plan for that?
Rom?
For the Brown Road, you know.
Oh, no, Rom might be able to answer that one.
Oh, wow.
The Braun Road, so basically it's going to be budgeted this year, if I'm, the Braun Road reconstruction?
Yeah, these are the plan, but on the other hand, you can hold me responsible because the plan changed. But these are the plans.
So it's gonna be budgeted for next year? Is that what do we, I mean?
I'll have to
Again,
go
is
with
it gonna, how's it gonna
I'll
impact
have
the
to go with
developer?
my
My question is,
memory,
how's it gonna impact the developer and their plans to go in and egress in there?
No,
Oh, this one?
I had the same question, but I'm sorry, but I'll have to think
Okay,
about what
so-
the budget was for this year and next year, I
That
don't remember that.
Joe, that clarification helps things. As far as I've been aware, there are also talks with us constructing the extension of Oaks Road as well. So their development would not go in before Braun Road was reconstructed. So they wouldn't start until after that was complete.
Got it, okay. So we're gonna put Oaks Road and Brown Road complete for them to then build off of.
Correct.
Got it, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And that's the purpose of this public hearing,
Yeah.
proposed public hearing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and normally we would wait completely on the developer to get that through, but considering those are some of our plans, I felt it was necessary to at least get a public hearing scheduled.
Got it,
Well, I
okay.
hope they budgeted enough for Brown Road, because when I first got on the Public Works Committee many, many years ago, we were gonna redo it, and we found out when they did a couple soil borings that there's probably not a base. It's probably asphalt over top of topsoil
Yeah.
in many, many places.
I mean, given our most favorite railroad speed bump, I think we're all prepared for that, and it's being funded as basically through TID 5 because it's connected directly to TID 5, both of these roads. So, and that's a first for us to go outside the TID's boundaries to use funding to directly benefit the TID. So that's good for the pocketbooks and all of that.
Okay, then I'm
Chairman.
looking for a motion then.
I have a question for Robin. So if it gets approved after the public hearing, it's going to come back to the planning commission.
That is correct.
So my question is, at what point in time planning commission and you are supposed to go back to the Bear development and ask them, saying do they have any comments or the concern based on the Oaks Road roundabout?
They've been brought
Is that
in.
now, okay, so they have been brought in and they don't have any comment, they don't have any concern?
I mean, no developer wants to do extra stuff.
Which is true. Okay, so
So we let them know that was how we were going to go. They were initially suggesting a stop sign control there.
Yeah.
We thought that was not acceptable. And so we were planning for further in the future, and that's how it was going to be. And they're fine with that. I mean, obviously, we're building the road, so, and as far as the negotiations, that's over my pay grade as far as, any kind of land acquisition or anything like that.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have just a comment, and
Go
I
ahead.
know it's not gonna change anything at this point, but the misalignment of the interior roads that run northeast and southwest continues to be a concern of mine, and it will always be. I'll never be okay with the way that the interior roads are configured that meet up with Oaks Road. We had talked about it the last couple of meetings ago.
Yep.
In my opinion, those roads should align where they intersect with Oaks. And that's at the north half of the property, the two interior roads that open onto Oaks.
I'll relay that. I mean, this is something that, you know, can be fixed you know, they still haven't done a final plat. This still hasn't been committed to comp plan. So I would say, I could say to them, we could relay that to them. How hard would it be to change this to line up? What is the pluses and minuses of it?
Well, it's a safety issue,
Mhm.
in my opinion. And the village of Mount Pleasant has to live with this for a lot longer than the developer does.
Yeah.
So, that's my comment.
I think I would concur.
Are you just talking about that northernmost road?
No, there are two interior roads in the north part of the property
Yeah, towards
that open onto Oaks, and they misalign. They don't line up with one another.
right.
And to me, that's an unsafe
But that-
situation.
Okay, but that's.
Two decision
there's several-
points instead of one.
There's several home sites though between those two roads.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a block long.
I understand,
Could be done better.
yeah, that's always been a sticking point for me. I've made it known in previous meetings, and,
Yeah.
I just want it to be out there.
Well, I'll at least commission them to kind of give us some analysis, like, you know, draw up a pros and cons list and maybe see if something could be reconfigured without losing any lots.
Well, we had that discussion with them here at the Plan Commission. And so, I mean, obviously, we don't know where they are with that from that feedback at that point because they aren't any part of this submission. It's actually.
No, they applied for this. It was just that I advanced it a little bit quicker, just because of all the other stuff we were doing on Braun Road.
Okay, well, then I agree with you guys. We should have them come back and show us what their thoughts are on.
I
we
think this can
discussed
be
before.
done,
think it
in
can.
my
That would be a part of the public hearing, yeah.
my
So,
sketchings of it, I think it's feasible, and, whether or not they lose a home site, I don't think is our concern.
Right.
I think public safety is probably at our, most important, foresight, and I just don't see that this is, it's what, 8 or 9 very narrow home sites. And if the traffic coming down Oaks Road is going at 30, 35, 40 miles an hour, I think if you have a right turn and then someone who wants to make a left turn, 200 feet later, I think it's possible it could cause issues in the
Yeah.
future.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all.
good point, thank you. All right, now I'm looking for a motion.
Move to schedule a public hearing for the comprehensive plan amendment for June 29th, 2026.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Pass unanimous, okay. All right, next on the agenda is ordinance 05-2026 Emmertsen Road, South and Green Valley Drive zoning map amendment, ZMA 26-2.
okay. Oh, and one quick note about the previous one is that June 29th is not a normal village board hearing date. It is being postponed a week because of renovations to this room. So we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting as far as our particular meeting and how to proceed for June, but that's just letting people know. Okay, so this is Emmertsen Road and Green Valley Drive zoning map amendment, ZMA 2602. It is for 11.73 acres. Oh, there it is. That is sort of, if you can imagine, Sunny Slope is to the west and Emmertsen Road is to the east. Green Valley Drive dead ends to the northern part of this parcel. The rezone is from AG1 to low density residential, RL. As I noted in the packet, the application indicated RM, but I assume that was just a typo because RM does not anywhere come close to the subdivision plat that they're applying for. And we have the right, or we can zone something down anyway, no matter what, but I figured it was just a mistake because that did not match the subdivision plat in character or anything like that. For that, it would not meet the minimum density in an RM district, so just clarifying that. The applicant is concurrently applying for a 22 lot subdivision with SPP 26001 and a comprehensive plan update CPA 26002, which was on the agenda last month. The public hearing for that will be on June 29th as well, because we needed 30 days in order notice for that to get on the agenda. There is not a village board meeting at the end of this month, and then there will not be one at the middle of next month, so it goes to June 29th. So this is the rezone. The next item also is the preliminary plat that is about this rezone as well. The item after that is the condominium plat that's adjacent to but not directly related to this application. So we can proceed how we want to consider them separately, together, something like that. The applicant is here. But I would say we could probably limit it to as far as asking of plat questions for the plat portion and then rezoning overall questions earlier. Oh, other things, it does meet the comprehensive plan for residential. And this has had, basically proposed roads planning on a subdivision extension through it for 30 years.
Just real quick question, the first two are the same parcel, but they have different acreage slightly, and I don't know what that means, if there's any reason to that. When I first looked at that, I thought, well, what's going on?
I think I can explain that actually. Because they're giving away a small portion of the acreage to the condominium plat. That's later on.
The Hamilton one?
Yes.
Thank you.
And so that is the discrepancy, and I didn't catch it on both of them, I think.
That's okay. I just want to, that might answer Ram's question from earlier.
Yes,
So okay.
I don't recall, are the outlots detention areas?
Oh, the outlots, that's part of, that's the plat. So this is just the rezone.
Oh.
So, yeah, they would be,
I went ahead of myself. So.
Yeah, this is zoning map amendment.
so, Mr. Chairman, if we take this item for the agenda, rezone, then we go to the plat question, and if we have question on the plat or if we have any comments, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think it makes more sense to have a discussion on the plat question first and then come back to the rezoning, because rezoning is yes or no. I mean, mostly it's yes. So there's, at least I don't have any question, and I don't think there are many questions, there will be many questions on the rezoning. So any comment or question would be on the plats.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
RL1 or RL
Yeah,
matches
yeah.
everything that's in the area anyway, so.
Again, I'm proposing that we
You're making a recommendation that we move to?
propose that the order of that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
pretty okay with that? Okay, let's go ahead
I
then.
seem to have done it already, apparently.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so let's go to the, item 3 then, in that section, the summary of native,
All right, I'll go ahead and do the summary on this one.
yeah,
So obviously the background is pretty much the same. So that it is an application for a 22 lot subdivision. The intent is to do duplexes or condominium duplexes on each of these. Pheasant Creek is immediately adjacent to this, and that is what they are. So, I mean, they would be very similar product. We also use that as the comparison for the fiscal analysis. So the plat Plat's a new roadway, Generation Grove, and continues Green Valley Drive north to south. And this is contingent on both the rezone and the comp plan amendment. So the one thing about the comp plan amendment was about access. That there currently is platted an access to Emmertsen Road from this parcel. However, that proposed road goes through a house. And so that probably should have been adjusted at that time when that house ruled that out, but that was not the case. There was another avenue that could have been taken, but there was another house built by the applicant. So basically they're asking to move the two accesses to the south. And that's fine because the three that are planned on the comp plan is too many. They're too close together. But that was just something that the comp plan is considering. Generally, the application meets all of the requirements as far as preliminary plat. And I will say that I have been contacted recently by numerous neighbors about the issue of construction traffic. Because there has already been construction traffic started. Probably to construct a garage on the condominium Plat's property. So I've made the Department of Public Works as well as code enforcement aware of that issue. But that is construction traffic off of Green Valley Drive is an issue where I've been contacted quite frequently.
They're driving through the field to get to the back of that other property?
Yes.
Why, they don't want to use their own driveway that they're building the barn on, or?
That's something I do not have the answer to.
Okay.
And so that access was not authorized, and we are taking care of that as far as, code enforcement and DPW, just to kind of set that record straight as far as whether or not we permit, because some of the residents were thinking that we had authorized that access. And I was like, no, public hearing is here and here, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything about the plot checks out. That's good. That was just an issue, and it was an issue that Nancy said that we should look at as well. I talked to Nancy, she was not here, said that she was concerned about that, and will raise it at the board meeting when this is reviewed, so.
Did you ever vacate that other road off Emmertsen Road? Does that have to be vacated at all or not, or is it just, we just dropping it?
No, it's just, it would be removed through the comp plan amendment. It was just a proposed road. It was never actual dedicated right of way.
Okay.
There could have been enough room for that access off of 630. It would have been very, very tight. Or would have required acquisition of the adjacent parcel, which I had been informed that negotiations did not proceed, so.
Okay.
Any questions of me, both the developer as well as the surveyor, plat maker, are both here for any overall questions or technical questions?
And the outlots are what?
I believe that those would be your detention ponds. That, to this, very, very specific to that, would be directed towards the surveyor.
And the access to the ponds would be another question. Easement to maintain the ponds.
Oh, I don't see that located on there, but I'm assuming that would be either through the backyards or whatever. I'm not sure if there's an overall like HOA or condominium association for the whole thing or just for individual properties. That's not something that.
And it's really just outlot 2. Outlot 1 appears to have frontage, so it would just be how would they get to outlot 2?
Okay, that can be posted. Any questions of me?
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, Ron.
Robin, I want to clarify because you mentioned your conversation with trustee Washburn also. But looking at the plat what we have on the screen right now, we are talking about access only from the Green Valley Road up on the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where was this question or comment from accents from the Emmertsen Road? Because I don't see anything on the screen, and I've gone through all the documents. It does show a small access to the Emmertsen Road in your package for the zoning.
So
But it
that,
doesn't show anything here, so, and again, so I still want to understand better what the issue was, because that access is not wide enough, and like you said, there was a plan to acquire the neighbor's property. But looking at, now we have gone to the other, now we
Yeah.
have gone to the.
that is what
other-
you're talking about right there, that little sliver, it's 18 feet wide.
Okay, but that's the next item on the agenda.
Yeah, it just is a clearer indication of what you were talking about. As far as when you're saying that access, that was never like dedicated or anything, that's private property.
Yeah,
But it is an 18-foot wide strip, yes.
but I guess my question is then, how is this connected to the item on the agenda, item number 3?
So tangentially, as a part of that condominium plat adjustment, and the applicants can speak more specifically to it, but this is transferring those slivers of land from the larger parcel, the ag parcel,
Okay.
to the condominium plat parcel, 630 and 632.
Okay. I'm sorry, maybe, if other members on the commission understand, help me out, because the Hamilton condominium are below this on the right, below this of Emmertsen.
Yes,
And this is right north of that, but
Nor-
not of Emmertsen, because on the right
north and
side,
west, yes,
Northwest.
right? Correct?
yes.
Okay. Maybe am I the only one who's not understanding it?
So I'm not understanding what your question is, that's what,
My question is, on this item,
right?
okay, it's on the Kingston item, there was the issue of the access from the Emmertsen,
That's way
the garage.
that's way north of that other condominium project. It's
Way north,
way north of it, there's a house there now that they can't go through,
yeah.
okay? So we're not gonna get an entrance to this subdivision until it's completed, until later on, because they're developing it appears to me, they're developing it, the north section first.
Oh, they
Green-
don't control properties to the south of here.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Okay.
That was the kind of the main point of discussion about the comp plan amendment. Do you want to force a connection now or sort of punt it to indeterminate property owners down the road?
We have no way to force it.
I mean,
You'd have to abandon a house. You'd have to,
oh, no, there would be a couple of other different options for, access. The access through, that would have been through 608, like, that was never possible, but through access through 630 or just even waiting for an acquisition of something to get out onto Explorer Drive, which is on 710. I mean, if one way in and out is an issue for the Plan Commission, other than just construction traffic, then yeah, that's definitely something that can be talked about.
Fire and ambulance come to mind.
I mean, we have situations where there's one access in and out that have far more units than this. I'm thinking of the condos off of Wood Road. Both of those are, but I tell you what, our fire department doesn't like that. But
You don't want to perpetuate it.
I would like to have another access. I'm not sure necessarily if that's possible given the current configurations, but that is something that is not, I can't magic that.
yeah.
The Wood Road situation took all kinds of discussions between the town and the county and the developers, and it was a mess.
It looks like it.
It was an absolute mess, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it's out on Woodwood. There's 2 condo developments in Wood Road, and we have streets that dead end into both of these. And you just can't get in through a street that leads directly to it. It doesn't make any kind of sense, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, this isn't overly large.
No.
I mean, in addition, the other thing that they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to put Ts at each of those dead ends too for turnaround.
Yeah.
So they're not showing those on the plot at this point.
Yeah. Any more general zoning or comp plan questions I can answer
No.
to? I mean, it seems like you also have a lot of questions of,
Mostly of the plat. of
yeah, the developer and surveyor,
Yeah.
so. Who would you like first?
Let me see here. What's your thoughts, Ron? Anything, I know you wanna approve the plat layout, or you wanna do the zoning first and move through this, or?
The zoning,
I mean, I don't see any big issue with it.
No, I don't see any problem or any comment on the zoning, and if I look at the, on this plat as a standalone, then no,
Yeah,
as a standalone, then I don't have any issues. But when I combine that with the issues of, like, say, the access and the future, like you say, whether you're able to buy the property or not, so then I'm getting concerned, because I'm understanding how we are asking, or how we're going to vote on the approval on this item based on something else, which is contingent upon the future.
And there's also the issue of construction traffic, which is
Yeah.
happening now, and people are calling me about now.
And that's what, yeah, so if I combine these two, then I have concern, then I don't feel comfortable, either going for the approval, but if I just look at this standalone, then I'm okay. So I'm looking for some other discussion from other members, maybe I'm the only one who's kind of mixing these two.
well, I guess my question would be is, from a traffic standpoint, and I can understand where the condominiums that are adjacent to the north are gonna have a lot of traffic, is there a location that they can come in from off of Emmertsen Road, as a temporary entrance for construction?
I am not sure. I mean, I had slated that it could come through 630, property that they control, or if that 18-foot strip it would be sufficient, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do recommend that they try to not come in through, Kingsview and Green Valley as much as possible. We just paved Kingsview, so I mean, those are just considerations.
And has the fire department looked at this layout, and they see any concerns with it at all?
We submit things to other departments, but we haven't heard back anything on this one. And because it's such a long turnaround, like, we're giving them a few more weeks.
Well, in that case, would it be prudent to table it until the next time, until you hear back, and then,
I would ask some questions of, the developers, as far as questions that you have about how they plan on going about that, as far as construction traffic and stuff goes.
Would it be helpful for them to have another cul-de-sac on the east side of Green Valley, instead of trying to connect to something that may or may not ever get built? If I read this right.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was just basically, we had the comp plan has that going and basically hooking back into Kingsview. Kingsview dead ends into a property that's like 4 parcels north of here. And so that would just be like a kind of mini turn cul-de-sac and come down. These are the problems created by long bowling alley lots.
Yeah. Well, I like your idea of tabling the plat.
I would agree. I would agree.
Move
I think we can start moving forward on the zoning map
Move the
amendment.
zoning forward and
Yeah.
table the plat.
I would go with that,
I would
yeah.
agree with that, yeah.
To that end,
Well, I would recommend to see if they had, you know, you can ask the developers what they plan on doing with the construction traffic, because I think that's what's been ringing my phone off the hook.
is that zoning or plat?
That would be the plat.
Okay,
But,
and we're tabling that.
No,
but I mean, it's still a question that you could have and you could
well,
ask.
we can move forward with the zoning maps.
Yeah.
And then we can bring up the preliminary plat, and if the developer's here,
They are,
okay, then we can have them
Okay, I
address.
didn't know they were here.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that.
Right.
So
Let's go back to zoning.
let's go back to zoning.
Sorry for that, but
I move that the Plan Commission recommend approval of ordinance 5-2026 to the Village Board, Emmertsen Road South and Green Valley Drive zoning map amendment, ZMA 26-2.
I'll second
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes, thank you.
All right,
Okay, so now we're back to the plat again, right?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we've had a lot of questions, and I think if everybody's okay with that, why don't we have the developer come up and field some questions from us?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
it. It's about time.
I'd love to get off the hot seat.
Mark Eberly, Nielsen Matza Barber, 1458 Horizon Boulevard. So what can I answer for you?
Well, you've heard some of the questions.
Yes, so let's talk about construction access. So this is a preliminary plat here. So typically, we've got to design these things. We've got an entire final plat to bring before this board here. So we would like to not focus on construction access at this time. We do have 2 or 3 months of design where we can get this thing designed and come back with some solutions for access to this property that may or may not be through the development to the south. So I guess I'm asking if we could potentially go that route here. Coming off of Emmertsen Road, that 18-foot wide strip is just lined with fences and trees and all kinds of stuff. It's really not wide enough to provide access to the development. And the condominium property to the south that the developer owns also has brand-new driveways and that type of stuff on it. So those two are really not.
You're saying to the south, you mean to the north?
No, the condominium is in the southeast corner of this general.
Oh, the Hamilton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Correct. So, again, that has new construction, new driveways, some other stuff. So those two are really not options. So we need to explore potentially a solution to the southwest here, but we do need time to do that.
Mr. Chairman, then, well, I appreciate your comment, then my question would be, like you said, you want us to go ahead and move to approve, and then it gives you time to rethink about your construction plan. So, I don't know if my question should be to Robin, to the planning commission, if we go ahead with that, and in the construction, if you still don't have what I would call a reasonable access through either Emmertsen Road or some other way, and you still have to go through subdivision, and the neighbors are not happy, and we have approved that, so what's our recourse to? So unless we move to approve conditional upon acceptance of the construction plan, no. And I don't know how to reword that, because construction plan, it will be that, because I can see that you can come saying, I'm sorry, we looked up all the options, this is what it is.
And
It is
we've
what it
already
is.
approved it,
Yeah,
I don't care about.
so that's where I was kind of hesitant, saying is it a good idea to move ahead, or do we just table the whole thing until you come back with a,
I would say that
Robin?
that would be the issue at the public hearing. So, on the June 29th, I mean, the people that will be speaking or writing or calling me, that is their number one concern. So,
Well, Robin, as much as I agree, it will be issue at the public hearing, but at the public hearing, if people come opposed to that, and we already have approved the public hearings for the rezoning, it's not for the approval. So even if people come and they are opposed, they have the construction, they have concern, we have just moved to recommend to the village board for the rezoning. So I don't see then what recourse would have based on the public hearing, except that it will come back to the planning commission.
Yeah, you can say that you would like for them to have an answer, by that date, or, yeah, tabling is an option as well. It is a first for me. It's not very clear you have options.
So Robin, if I may speak there, so, again, we designed plenty of subdivisions that only have one access to them, across the state here, and a lot of times construction has to come through that access and through existing neighborhoods here. So we will do our best to find a alternate solution to not come through that subdivision here, and we will need some time to do that, but, technically, that's not a platting item here. We're bringing the plat in front of you today and looking for approval of the plat.
No, hang on just for a second. We're gonna have you come to the microphone, please. And your name and address then at the microphone. Thank you. And how are you associated with this whole project? So,
John Osterman, Golden Construction Overseeing LLC, working with Mrs. Hamilton on the development for this particular project that she's looking for. Mark, I'm thinking about that 18-foot access that we do have coming off of Emmertsen for a temporary type of an access to get onto that property. 18 feet wide if we do run a temporary type of service going in to get in and out of the site right there. May be an access point which may eliminate any opposition from the subdivisions that are up there. That would just be to get the materials and get the project going in, coming in off of that 18-foot, if that becomes a big issue. That would be probably the easiest access point for us to get in, is to run a temporary from point A to point B. 18 feet wide should take care of any equipment that's coming in, trailer-wise, materials for that site, which we could further go, in the future and design something for that to get in and out of.
That would help a lot.
There, yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I would propose at this point for that access to keep neighbors and stuff. And as far as the access that we did come off of Green Valley, that was the only way to get onto her property without any damage going through for her existing driveway, brand new driveways, brand new homes that she put in. It was the only access that legally she could come off of where her property adjacent to the south on that property. So we did go in and we put a temporary service to go in to put the new garage that she is, that we were installing back at that point, which we can eliminate and do the same thing coming off that 18-foot stretch. Don't know about the neighbors there. They probably aren't gonna be real happy with that access either. So, that one access point coming off of Green Valley is the best way to get in and out. So, but there are options that if we have to, that 18-foot wide one, we could use. And I don't know your thoughts on that, Mark.
No, that's fine. I just know there's trees and other clearing, other items that have to get cleared out of there to accommodate.
Exactly.
So it is an option. We will pursue all options.
who owns the 18-foot section we're talking about?
Mrs. Hamilton.
Oh, she owns that 18-foot strip, huh?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
I would only clarify that according to the DPW, access off Green Valley through the Dead is not permitted. That's full stop. So without kind of an approval of a driveway or something else, you can't take down dead end signs and access the property through.
I understand that, but on approval of this plat, and assuming they're going forward, that fully becomes a dedication that's gonna come to the village, and that road is right away, and
Yes.
access is, you can't deny it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cart before the horse situation.
I know. Oh, well, this last one, I understand the garage thing, that's a whole different ballgame, but for this plat here, they have every right to use Green Valley to come in there. It's,
Public, right?
It's a public
it's a
road.
public road. So our decision is to say, hey, we can't deny them to do that once we approve the plat.
Yeah, once we approve it.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, based on what I heard from the construction manager, it makes me feel better that that option
Yeah.
can be used and it's a viable option.
Yeah.
Because before you spoke, it appeared to me that option is closed.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that, but now I'm looking for how to word that motion to incorporate that.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have a couple people on Emmertsen Road aren't gonna be very happy either.
I know.
So, I mean, you got,
Well, I guess,
But splitting it, at the very least.
yeah, I know.
Is, if the zoning and the plat are two different items, the zoning seems to be reasonable.
Yeah.
Seems to be appropriate. I'd be comfortable acting on the zoning and
Oh, we-
continue to table the plat because the plat has a ways to go, in my opinion.
well, we already moved on the zoning.
The
so,
zoning-
Oh, yeah.
Moved on zoning.
So I guess what's left for me would be, I wouldn't be comfortable approving it, the plat that I'm looking at here.
There seems to be too many questions.
I think the developer wants to.
The question I have for you, Larry, is on what grounds are you doing it? Are you saying that, you don't approve it because you don't want them driving through a road that's already there that they have every right to use for, to bring in and build?
No, not a bit. That's not my concern lies more with turnaround, access. It just doesn't appear to me that dead end that goes back, swings around back to the north. I think I would rather see a cul-de-sac at the east end there. And not try to imagine a connection that's may or may not someday be feasible.
Oh, it won't?
Ask for that to be like that, because to accommodate potential development to the north of the
Yeah.
river.
When would that occur?
Whenever one of those.
Whenever the neighbor decides to build.
Yeah, that's correct. We originally had a cul-de-sac there, and then actually working with Sam and Robin, we extended that road to that property line so that could be an infill through the next neighborhood. So,
I prefer your solution.
Yeah, I couldn't support another cul-de-sac there. There's too damn many cul-de-sacs anyway.
I think Sam and Robin were correct here in good neighborhood planning to eliminate some of the dead ends and have some through streets. So we did accommodate that for them, so.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll stand down.
yeah. And then also, you gotta put the T turnarounds on both those dead ends.
That's final plat type items here, but correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, there's a lot of refinements by the time the final gets here,
Yeah,
Know how they're gonna get back to outlot 2 and all that kind of good stuff. That would come up before the recordable document comes in.
That is correct. We do need to provide access to outlot 2 in the final plat.
Okay.
don't know where we go. Any other thoughts or a motion? Does anybody have any further comments?
Somebody else can make a motion, it doesn't have to be me all the time.
Well, it doesn't have to be for, you can be any motion that you want to make, whatever your
Well,
feelings are.
I think tabling is waste of everybody's time because it's a preliminary plat and they've worked with the staff to develop the connections. Yeah, I come from a unique point of view that I did this kind of stuff, I almost said crap, stuff for years with these neighborhood plans and whatnot and making sure connections. I don't know that they kept them, but there's so many plats in file drawers out at the county that how to fill in some of these places where the first guy in kind of almost cuts everybody off. But I guess I would recommend the approval of SPP 26-000, I guess it's 301, Lineage Estates preliminary plat.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other comments before we call the vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving forward. Okay. Next on the agenda is Kingston Homes Condominium Plat Addendum CP. It says 22026, I think that's 2026-02, 630 and 632 Emmertsen Road South.
Oh, so the original one was CP 02-22. This one is the amendment.
Oh, okay.
So this is an application to amend the condominium plat. This is required almost for any minor amendment or recordation of a condo plat. The changes are the addition of the additional area will be added, as well as on the garage that was aforementioned will be added, and responsibilities about that will be delineated in the condo plat. No new units or anything else that has been submitted to change.
Okay. Was the addition of that whatever portion of acreage now allow them to build another condominium if they wanted though? Is that?
No, they would have had the space.
They
Like
had the space
that would have
before?
been.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I mean, maybe not.
So this is
One that big.
basically a redefinement of the legal description.
Yes. Plus the addition of another building, a garage.
Where is that additional?
It's on the back, the building all the way in the back of the property.
On the back, on the
There.
northwest?
The northwest corner there, they're actually
Yeah.
showing the building there, yeah.
No, I'm asking because we are looking at the documents online, it's all black and white, and although in the description it says additional, but it doesn't, I think, it'll be nice to either you circle that or put an, maybe note that this is that's what we are talking about. Otherwise, it'll be question like me, where?
Yeah, these eyes aren't young either, so.
I know, I mean-
I know your pain.
I know, yeah, because at least in the old days, when we make these on the AutoCAD, so you put a little kind of circle or the note here saying that's what we're talking about, so then I wouldn't be asking the question. Thank you, Robin.
No problem.
Any questions?
Again, both the developer and property owner are here to answer any questions, but this one seems pretty minor.
So all the previous discussion and question that we had about the Emmertsen Road and the neighborhood property, they don't apply to that. That was only because we were trying to
So
combine these two.
I would only say that I'm not quite sure about it. So if you wanted to mandate an access off of the 18-foot area, if you guys you or the village board wanted to mandate that be an access as well, that would be a lot easier if that 18-foot portion were still a part of the parcel that was being amended, was the plat. With this one, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how the property rights work where, it is a separate parcel owned by a separate corporate entity, all that sort of stuff, whether or not those can be kind of considered as the same project or not. That would be the only thing that I would raise about that. But considering they're going through at the exact same time, going to the village board at the same time, that can be a decision made then.
If they're two separate entities, maybe we can encourage them to enter into a written agreement allowing construction access.
Excuse me.
That would be sufficient.
Yeah, encourage is the word you need to use, because you can't make them do it.
Well, before it's transferred over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's a recorded document.
I don't know how you would do that.
Just, you could say an access easement, like, you can recommend the addition of an access easement.
So we're gonna hold the Kingston Homes Condominium Plat Addendum?
It wouldn't be a
Tied
hold.
to her allowing them to, or encouraging them to use that let them use their 18-foot right-of-way to get to the property?
Yeah, I would, so something like that. Because they're separate entities, like, I'm not quite sure, but I think that's the cover your bases moment there. It's like saying just, if you want to transfer this over, make sure that an access easement to the property that's doing the transferring is put on there.
I don't know.
If we're encouraging
would
them
work,
to
yeah.
use that access, then that seems logical to me.
And it could be even temporary.
Yeah, it could be temporary.
Yeah,
So that's the conditional.
but I don't, well, somebody, yeah, if you wanna come up with the wording on that, what the lawyers want and what, or need. versus what-
Conditional on the addition of a temporary access easement through the construction of the subdivision along the 18-foot portion that is to be transferred.
And I think one of the representatives indicated that was feasible, so.
Yeah, I understand that, but we've already approved the preliminary plat without that access being demanded, if you will. And now we're going to attach it to a condominium plat addendum, approval of that plat addendum to the requirement that they allow that 18-foot strip be used for access to the other development.
I think it's a covering your bases thing. If you're gonna have
Do
it
that.
transfer,
We're recommending that the village board take a look.
I know, but to me, it sounds kind of interesting. But
yeah, it is interesting. I said there's a lot of new stuff here for me.
That's
But-
why I brought the earlier question, because if you look at both of them standalone, I don't have any concern, but when you combine these, because one depends upon the other, then it becomes a little messy.
Yes, it's a
So,
little messy.
And,
so I don't know.
and this would be my suggested solution to address that both the transfer of that property and the ownership concern. So if it's transferred via this and away from it, then the subdivision property says, well, we don't have access to that anymore. But if you have the temporary access agreement, then that's not an issue.
okay, so,
I think that it,
okay, now it's making more sense. Go ahead, Ram, are you ready to make?
No, no,
somebody-
because
Oh, Larry, we're gonna call you for a motion.
Larry is going to
Okay.
make the motion, and I'll second.
in the matter of, let's see, this was CP 26-2, 632 Emmertsen condo plat, 2026-5-20. We would recommend that the village board approve, subject to the implementation of a temporary easement to facilitate construction of the Emmertsen and Green Valley Drive zoning and map amendment that we already approved, right?
And preliminary plat.
And preliminary plat.
Yeah, Lineage Estates preliminary.
Lineage.
Yes, thank you.
Second.
Whatever I said.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Now, I would like to have the owner of this, if the owner is here or whoever is representing the Kingston Homes condominium, come up if you could, please. I think. And John, your name and address again, please. Thank you.
John Osterman, Golden Construction, Versine LLC, 7930 Brown Road, Mount Pleasant.
Okay, and I guess my main question before we call the vote is to make sure that you are, that you or the people who are the plat is for, they're amenable to this, and that there's not gonna be an issue with what we've just done.
Won't be an issue. I've already spoken to the owner, and Ms. Hamilton has agreed to that.
Okay, very good. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Okay, get on. Good. Passes, and we're moving on. Good luck. Man. This is TriCore Professional Park Office Condominium Plat Addendum CP 2026-03, 6921 Mariner Drive.
For over the hill, guys. We hadn't had any condo, like maybe one in 5 years, and we have two in one agenda. That's just how it rolls sometimes. Okay, so this is, the applicant submitted an addendum to the plat of survey, an amendment and restatement and declaration of the Prairie Professional Park Office Condominium, which will be renamed the TriCore Professional Park Office Condominium. The amendment brings the 1055 Prairie Drive parcel into the condominium as Unit 5. It expands from 4 buildings to 5 and updates the legal descriptions and easements to cover the expanded footprint. It also consolidates the original 1982 declaration and 4 prior amendments in 87, 92, 97, and 2021 into a single restated document. So that's recorded. The zoning is C3. None of the zoning or uses are changing. It's just ownership and consolidation. And I believe there's a representative here.
Okay, I guess the only question, anybody else had a question, because I have one, just, well, one small one was, and this building 5 was, Unit 5, I'll call it, was just a standalone?
Yeah, it was a standalone separate parcel.
Okay. Within the condominium development?
No, it was outside of it, and now it's being absorbed.
Okay, so the whole thing was not a business condominium project, and what was, 5 was all by itself, all along?
It was not 5 beforehand, and 1 to 4 existed, and now they are absorbing 5. They're bringing it into the family.
I mean, but the
Okay,
building
I'll bring
5,
it.
yeah, why don't you bring up the, yeah, come on up, sorry about that. Name and address for everybody, please.
TJ Orth, home address is 3512 Fence Line, Caledonia. Office building is 6939 Mariner in this office park. So the office park, the association has consisted of 4 buildings since the whole thing was built. But when it was built with all 5 buildings. But the owner of 1055 back then, whatever their lender issue was, they didn't want them to be part of the association. So the association said, okay, that's fine if you want to stand alone. But these 5 buildings have been operated together as an association the entire time. But now the owner of 1055 and all of us as board members of the office park want to finally just get the building into the fold and be done with the nonsense that lender created way back then. So it's always been operated as a 5-business office park. All the buildings are the same. They're built by the same builder. We're just trying to iron things out.
Okay, makes more sense, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, any other questions, anybody?
I think it's a good idea.
Looking for a motion?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, okay, no, Michelle, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Motion to recommend that approval, that the Plan Commission moves to recommend approval of CP-26-3.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None. Passes. Nice cleanup.
Yeah, dang, legal incorporation and property act, it's a lot of the same verbiage, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll eat egg for that one, that's fine. Okay, so, next up is
Is-
another plat. This is
The sanctuary at Pike River Plat, final plat, SFP 26-0001, Old Green Bay Road and Brown Road.
So this one is very familiar to all of you guys, and even more so because the final plat is almost exactly the same as the preliminary plat that was approved last year. So this is a 95-lot single-family subdivision located between Old Green Bay Road and Braun Road, adjacent to the Royal Oaks subdivision. The final plat substantially conforms to the preliminary plat approved as PSP 25-1 in August 2025, with minor changes, including the elimination of 1 lot, which is the quarter-acre lot on the west side, number 52, and 1 outlot, which is former outlot 2 on the south of the property, judging by what's on there, and I'm not absolutely sure, but it seems like that one was dedicated to one of the property owners. It was like a little sliver that had been not essentially, it had been used as a driveway for those property owners for years. So I assume that it was just dedicated over. They will be able to answer more to that. And Outlot 1 retains the proposal of a public park and wetland area. So we recommend approval of this, and I actually just received today a couple of slides from Lennar, which is the home builder. That's another thing, is that the ownership of the property has transferred from Primestone Real Estate to Lennar Home Builders. So they submitted this, which is a park concept plan for that corner off of Little Prairie Drive, which would have a playground. Village has said that taking unimproved parkland is not a part of the parks plan, because that's a liability. But if it's an improved park plan where with improved amenities and then dedicated to the village, that becomes a different story. So we had not suggested a playground, but this is still nice. And the other suggestions were a walking path around the wetland area, which is right up there, as well as a potential entrance into James Turret Park. Those were the two main suggestions as far as like actual improvements that would warrant acceptance. But this is nice too. So, and then they also submitted this as far as the monument signage, which would be approved separately. I believe there's a representative here, and if you have any questions of me.
The final plat that I have is so small that I'm assuming that there are sidewalks on here, and I just can't necessarily pick them out, but I'm assuming that's all in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we either say that they have to be on the plat or on the road sections, which they are.
Okay.
Some of the conditions were about that this one had 15-foot vision triangles and it should be 20, and
Okay.
to kind of spell out street lighting and street trees. The street lighting, they do have lamp signals where it has a little triangle. That's cool. That's actually way better than a lot of plats, because we always put that one on. But we need kind of either saying that they're going to adopt the We Energy special, or go with whatever design that they have to submit that. And then indication of the street trees requirement.
Who reviews the light fixtures and for appropriateness in the village?
That would be a bit between us and Public Works. So if it's in the right of way, then Public Works would be reviewing it as well. We Energies owns most of the light poles in the village, so that's usually the assumption. But some people dare to be different.
Okay, here we are. And yeah, it looks like and maybe you can confirm this, or the developer, if they're here, can confirm it. It looks like on the long streets, they've also done curb cuts to the sidewalks, huh? It appears.
Yes, I believe so.
That's good. I like that.
Just, one of the big discussions when this was first approved was the connection northwards to Biscayne Avenue.
Right.
They applied for an exception from the Plan Commission and Village Board and received it to basically have that removed. And that they move forward. And we believe it substantially meets the comprehensive plan and as far as all of the other connections.
Okay. Any questions? No questions? I'll entertain a motion then.
Motion to recommend to approve the sanctuary at Pike River, final subdivision plat SPF-26-1, subject to the recommended conditions for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other comments?
Well, I'd like to make a comment that I think based on what we just heard from Robin, both these developments of the playground and the park and the sign for that, these are the positive development, and I think it should please the homeowners and in the adjacent Royals Oak subdivision also. Because last year, if you remember, that we had a lot of discussion, a lot of concern. And like you said, most of those concerns have been addressed, from going from multi-units to single units and making exception to the access from the north, and now these two developments. And the other thing is that, Mr. Chairman, I was looking at your comments and about the sidewalk, so even if I expand that, they don't show that. But again,
It's on the streets,
yeah,
ones though. if you
yes,
go
on the
further
street.
deeper, yeah.
So I want to, no, I'm
Yeah.
making the speech so that it goes in the recording, and these are all the positive developments on the record, and I'm very pleased about that. And
Yeah.
I believe that the neighbors would be pleased, neighbors of the Royals Oak, I believe that
Yeah,
they would be favorable to that.
Basically, the acceptance of any proposed public park in lieu of, all of that is, up to the discretion of the village board.
Sure.
Through the development agreement process, and.
Yeah.
And that will continue forward after this. But this is very good, son. We're very pleased as far as taking steps in that direction as opposed to unimproved land.
Yep.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Good luck. Glad to see this one's going.
Yeah. All right. Staff reports?
Staff reports.
None. I had enough to do this month. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
So adjourn, but next meeting, June 17, 2026, question mark. So the question mark is, I'm tracking a CSM and right here for Enterprise Drive, as well as the number 6 addition to the Hoods Creek subdivision as being planned for June. Right now, maybe our tech folks can speak onto the nature of the renovations here in EB, but apparently audio and video recording will be not available. So if you guys are comfortable meeting and going old school, I have a feeling that you all are comfortable old school, but it can be still at June 17th. Otherwise, the earliest potential date would be June 29th. In order to have those items be considered at the June 29th Village Board. Otherwise, they would be delayed another month.
I'm good on the 17th.
17th is fine. Are you
17th.
talking about one of the other rooms here, you mean?
No, it would be this room and community room 1 would be like there would be no audio or video. I don't know the extent of the renovations and stuff, but they said that we could do it old school.
Could be recorded.
Yeah, it could be recorded, old shaky cam style or.
As long as it doesn't interfere with the ordinances that we're required to be recorded and broadcast, I don't know. So,
I don't think there's a requirement that it be broadcast. It's just that there has to be minutes is in the statutes. So the recording does help the taking of the minutes, but.
I'm talking about on Facebook,
Oh, okay.
for people to be able to view off-site.
Could
Yeah,
that
Mr.
not
Chairman,
be,
Mr. Chairman, as I mentioned to you, I think for the whole planning commission, whatever you decide, but personally, June 17, and I'm talking about personally, I have a conflict, so I will be happy if this moves some other day. On the other hand, I think if everyone else is, the rest of the commission is good, old school, no audio, video.
Yeah, it
We
wouldn't
can
be
do without you, Ralph,
broadcast.
No offense, but
No, I'm saying is that I'm not going to weigh in that because personally for me, it'll be a conflict anyway, so.
Yeah, it would not be live streamed or live audio or anything like that. We can try to record what we can and then post it up later, but that would be the limitation. So, and I don't think we have ordinances requiring live streaming. It's just saying that we have to post things on our website as far as notifications, but that's it. Does that understand?
Yep.
Yes.
So I guess we'll stick with the 17th.
Sounds good.
Let's do that. Okay, one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Everyone wants to adjourn. Everyone wants to
We're out of
adjourn.
here. Thank you, everybody.